Hi, it's Jen, and today I wanted to talk about some of the books that I'm really excited about that are getting released in February and March. So let's get started. First on the list is Remembrance by Meg Cabot. Remembrance is the 7th book in Meg Cabot's Mediator series, which I was a huge fan of when I was in high school. I read all 6 books, and that and the 1-800-WHERE-ARE-YOU series were my favorite Meg Cabot books, and that's saying a lot. I own tons of her books. I don't even really care what the plot is because I'm just so excited to read the next book in the series and see what happened to characters that I was really in love with years ago, and I loved their love story, and I'm just so excited to see where she takes it. I probably won't actually read this book for a while because I want to reread all the original Mediator books first, and I don't have them with me in London. But as soon as I get home, I am definitely going to do that. Remembrance by Meg Cabot comes out on February 2nd. The next book I'm really excited about is Gold Famed Citrus by Clare V. Watkins. So this is a contemporary adult dystopian apocalyptic novel. So in the synopsis for this book, it talks about how California has turned into this huge desert wasteland and people are evacuating to the east, although they're hampered by militias and bureaucracy and all sorts of stuff. And then there's 2 main characters who are squatting in a starlet's abandoned mansion and have this love story, it seems like. But when they meet a mysterious child, they try to go east and get into, I guess, the rest of the US where it is actually habitable. I'm really excited for this book because Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel was one of my favorite books last year. And I'm really excited by the adult dystopian post-apocalyptic trend. I've read a lot of the young adult dystopian books and I've liked them, but I haven't loved them. So I'm excited to read this more adult take on it. And this book has actually already been released in the US, but it does not come out in the UK until February 4th. The next book I'm really excited about is Ways to Disappear by Idra Novi. And first of all, can I say that I love the cover for this book? It is about a Brazilian writer who mysteriously vanishes or goes missing or is kidnapped and seems to have all these gambling debts and people who were out to get her. And her American translator, who lives in Pittsburgh, sort of abandons her life in the US and flies down to Brazil to figure out what's happened to this author. So this seems like a really fun book because it's about writing and books, and I'm a sucker for that type of thing. And it seems like it's going to be a really interesting noir mystery book with a little bit of humor. So I'm very excited to read that, and it comes out on February 9th. I'm also very excited about I'll See You in Paris by Michelle Gable. So this is a historical fiction novel that tells the stories of 3 women, the first of which is Gladys Spencer Churchill, who was the Duchess of Marlborough and a real person, and it also tells the story of a mother and daughter. So this book I'm really excited for because I haven't read a good historical fiction novel in a bit. I've loved the other Michelle Gable book I read. It was called A Paris Apartment, and it blended the story of a modern-day furniture appraiser with the apartment in Paris she was appraising who belonged to a woman who was the muse of the painter Boldini. So I'm really excited to read this book because I know this author can do historical fiction very well and blend current contemporary characters with interesting historical characters. So I'm just really excited to learn about the Duchess of Marlborough and see where the story goes. And that book comes out on February 9th. I'm also really excited to read Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. I hope I pronounced that right. And this is the sequel to her book Red Queen. So this is set in a young adult fantasy world where people are sort of segregated by the color of their blood. People who have silver blood are royal and aristocrat and have special magic powers, and people with red blood are common people. So the main character in this book has red blood, but she also has magical powers, and in the first book there was a lot of betrayal and political stuff going on, and I'm just really excited to see where the author takes the series in this next book. So definitely consider checking out Red Queen if you haven't picked it up yet, because Glass Sword comes out February 9th. I'm also really excited for A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. A Gathering of Shadows is a sequel to last year's A Darker Shade of Magic, which was a fantasy novel that I was obsessed with. I loved the world building. So in this series, the main character, Cal, lives in London, but it's not London like the London we know. He lives in what he calls Red London, and he has the ability to travel between Red London and other Londons. So he travels to Grey London, which is the London that we live in, the London without magic, and also to White London, where magic has taken a different dark turn, and then Black London, which he does not travel to because magic just went crazy there, and it's just taboo to go to Black London. And it's just a really fun, interesting story. I love how the author has reinterpreted each version of our world slightly differently, and it's very exciting. The first book was action-packed and really fun. I really can't wait for the next book because there's going to be an international magic competition in Red London. I just can't wait to see how the author interprets how magic would look in countries other than London. So if you haven't read A Darker Shade of Magic yet, now is the time because A Gathering of Shadows comes out on February 23rd. Another young adult book that I'm really excited for is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. Now, I haven't actually finished the Mortal Instruments series. I stopped reading after about book 4. The Infernal Devices series was my favorite Cassandra Clare series to date, so I'm really excited to see how she's matured as a writer and how she reinterprets the Shadow World through new characters. Because I've always enjoyed reading about the Shadow World. I think it's really fun, and I'm excited to get back into it. Although I probably won't read this book for a while because I haven't finished the Mortal Instruments series and I would like to, I'm really excited for this book, which comes out on March 8th. The next book that I'm excited about is actually a collection of short stories, and it's called What Is Not Yours Is Not Yours by Helen Oyemi, I think. So as I said, this is a short story collection, and the blurb describes it as being built around the concept of keys and unlocking things. So it just seems really cool. I love short story collections. I think they're really fun to read. I love just reading little bits at a time. And a few of the short stories look like they are about libraries and books and writing, and I love that. So that one comes out on March 8th. Another contemporary adult novel that I really want to read is The Nest by Cynthia D'Aprix Sweeney. So this novel is about 4 adult siblings and their shared inheritance. It seems like there is a lot of dysfunctional stuff happening in this family, and this nest egg money that they are supposed to have is sort of grown over the years, and they don't really know what to do with it. So it seems like a very interesting family drama about relationships and friendship and all that good stuff, and it seems like something I would really relate to, so I'm really excited to check it out when it comes out on March 22nd. And finally, The Winner's Kiss by Marie Rutkowski. So this is the final book in the Winners trilogy, which is a young adult fantasy trilogy, and at the end of the second book, everything just sort of took a sharp turn to the left, and the main character, Kestrel, is in a really bad situation, and I just need to see what happens. I need to know how this trilogy ends. So if you haven't read the first 2 books in the trilogy, which are The Winner's Curse and The Winner's Crime, you have time to check them out because this doesn't come out till March 29th. Alright, so that's all from me for today. If you are excited about any of these books, or if you have any other spring releases that you can't wait to read, let me know, and I can't wait to talk about them all with you. Bye!